Hi everyone, I'm Max from the Max team, and tonight I'm with ClarkHellScream. How are you from USA?
How's it going, everybody? It's really cool to be here. It's been a minute since I've had some casting, and it's been a minute since I've done casting for Last Hero Standing. So I'm gonna have to get out of my conquest brain just for a little bit in order to really analyze this properly. But very excited to be here, and I'm very happy that Max Esports did so well at the Masters Tour, and we're gonna see the champion of that Masters Tour. So would you like to take this away and tell some people that may not be in the loop of what's going on?
Yeah, you may have noticed that Furyhunter won this Master 2 Stormwind yesterday after a very long weekend of conquest. And tonight it's LHS in this Max League 5. It's a round 2 versus Faeli. It will be our first match tonight, and then we'll have wiRer from Max team as well versus Fred, the Grandmaster, Brazilian Grandmaster. So two intense match incoming, and we'll have the interview of the champion Furyhunter as well. And something that has to be noticed is that Furyhunter also won the Maxland 3 weeks ago. It was in LHS format as well, and the only defeat he had in the tournament was versus Faeli. So it will be very interesting to see that tonight.
Yeah, we pretty much got a revenge match going on, and I got to say that Furyhunter is probably going to be a little bit arrogant going into this match, considering what happened yesterday. He's still caught up on the fames of victory, but he's got a little bit of a different lineup. He still looks like he's got a very solid idea and the foundations of Last Hero Standing. You pretty much want something that's just gonna 3-0 your opponent right from the gate, and you want to just try to just not focus on the bad matchups. But in any case, Faeli has also been very consistent. And as you said, he also did very well at the Max tournament and is the reason why Furyhunter did not have such a clean record. But, this is still going to be a pretty interesting match because both players have, that bragging rights they really want to get.
Yeah, and Faeli managed to get 7-0 in the Maxland 3 Swiss rounds, so he's very comfortable with this lineup. And we'll check the group of this match, the group of the Max League 5, where the players are evolved into. For now, Furyhunter managed to win his first match, and Faeli didn't. So for now, we have 4 players at the top and 4 players at the bottom. So Furyhunter is the third from now, because we have Logic and Floki ahead, and then we have Faeli at the 5th place. Okay, only the 2 first players will reach the playoffs, so every match is important. And we can now check the lineups, starting with Faeli, with Faeli's one. Okay, just a second here.
Yeah,
okay,
I've actually got them right here. And one thing that I just have to just point this out right now is that Faeli is running King Mukla in his Face Hunter. And just like that, I'm a fan of the deck.
Banana
Probably
Hunter.
the spiciest deck of this matchup right here.
After the Banana Priest, then the Banana Hunter. Yeah, we love those kind of cards. Okay, he's bringing Demon Hunter, a Druid, a Hunter, and a Rogue, but we won't see his Demon Hunter that has been banned by Furyhunter. Just a second, I'm cutting the music here. Okay.
Yeah, and Faeli on the other side has decided to ban Furyhunter's Rogue, and I believe that's a very smart ban due to the fact that I believe it was at the Maxland 3 where Furyhunter had like some kind of ridiculous win rate with Garode Rogue. So needless to say, he knows the deck inside and out, and I think this is probably the most powerful deck to have in your arsenal to really understand like the intricacies and the complicated turns of popping off the combo, going for tempo, and just getting that out of the way seems like a really smart idea, because you just want to get rid of that powerhouse of the deck. But it also makes sense with the lineup that he's got. Druid can kind of fall. Aggro Druid can fall very short because of the amount of removal the Rogue has. Demon Hunter can disrupt it, but with the other decks that are available, taking out the Rogue just seems like the best option. But then again, the Demon Hunter is banned, so you don't even have to worry about that. And then you still have the Rogue yourself in order to counteract Furyhunter's lineup of OTK Demon Hunter, Quest Warlock, and Face Hunter as well, without a Monkey, which, I got to say, I'm very disappointed Furyhunter not putting a King Mukla in your deck. But I really think that we're going to see a pretty great matchup between these two amazing players.
Yeah, we have this Druid on Faeli's side, and is bringing two Far Watch posts. Okay, and a Wriggling Arrow. Okay, not that
not a
usual.
fan of that personally, but this is kind of the toss up with like Aggro Druid at the moment, and that's only because I play the deck so much. But the big cards here to look at to kind of like analyze the power of it is the Argent Squire, the Double Watch Post, and the Wriggling Horror. Those are like the four like cards that are kind of like yet to be determined of what's the best. There's a lot of players arguing on it, but a lot of people have still decided that Watch Post is the best way to just deny as many strategies as possible. Some people agree that it's correct. Some people would disagree with it, but it's still kind of interesting that even this late into the metagame, there's still this much variance with tech decisions in these kind of decks.
Yeah. Yes. And okay, you talked about this Hunter with only King Mukla was a little weird, and you have a selective breeder in it. Okay, to get the
find it out.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay, and then the rogues that everybody knows. So I guess we can jump to Furyhunter's lineup right now. So Furyhunter, the players from the Mike's team, the champion. Okay. I'm just I keep quiet. Okay, he's bringing a Demon Hunter, a Warlock, a Hunter, and a Rogue. We won't see his Rogue that has been banned. So the Demon Hunter, the deck, you have to make the OTK with Ignis. Nothing strange in it, I guess. No. The Warlock, okay, yeah.
The weirdest card would be the Viper, but I mean, you run the Viper, especially in Last Hero Standing, to be good against Warrior in case you see it. So it makes sense to have it included.
Yeah. Okay, Warlock's not dead because now you play with two Altar of Fire. Okay, they can destroy your rogue, your opponent's rogue.
It seems that a lot of players, especially at the Masters Tour, just kind of defaulted on this being the good Warlock deck, and I saw like a lot of like apprehensiveness to Altar Fire at the beginning, but it just seems to be a core card at this point, at least in my experiences.
Yeah. I like the deck, and we will see it. It can be played tonight because maybe it will be 3-0'd his opponent. We don't know, but he had a very short night, so we'll see. Then the Hunter, more regular one.
Yeah, pretty standard. I like the inclusion of the Terrain Crescent because, especially in the Aggro Druid matchup, that's like an extremely key card in order to stop the taunts and the 2/3s and the oracles from just snowballing out of control. It's pretty much like your one way of being able to interact with them. So it's very crucial to have that card, I feel like, in this particular meta.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it's it. We have Ejo Auditore, Talk Boss on the chat, and from the legend. Hi guys. We can give the go to the players right now. Jumping to this scene. Okay, just a second. I'm checking the cameras. Okay, this one has to be first. This one. Okay, everyone is here. I'm giving them the go. So we'll have Furyhunter at the bottom of the screen and Faeli at the top of your screen. Okay, yeah, it's okay. You can start. Good luck. And to Furyhunter. Furyhunter is currently number 2 legend on your European server.
Yeah, I'm currently sitting at a pretty nice legend rank in EU. I'm 5,250. Woohoo!
Yeah, but
like, I actually got experienced firsthand this season, like just how many people are on the EU server because I've done a triple legend climb on all 3 servers now, and I mean, I gotta say that just the sheer number of people that play Hearthstone in EU is just astounding.
Yeah, and we saw on your Twitter that you're running 3 servers at a time. So you're involved in NA server, Asia one, and now European. And you said that European server is maybe the more difficult to grind.
It's definitely the most diverse, which I believe makes it the most difficult. Because not only do you have the sheer number of people that want the same amount of, like the same thing you do at the end of the day, but I mean something that was very common on EU was people running priest, probably to beat aggro decks because a priest isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. But I feel like a lot more people kind of understand how Hearthstone really works, and the biggest thing that is a really big advantage is being able to be off meta while still being extremely powerful, because you got to have that unpredictability on there.
Okay, it's starting right now with the Furyhunter's Hunter. Don't call me Fury, call me Furyhunter. It's Furyhunter Hunter. And the fight is Druid. Okay, not a bad end from Faeli with this peasant and the agent, don't know what. Agent Squire.
Wait, did he full keep this? Keeping the composting is kind of understandable because there are times where you just need to try and play it as soon as possible. But also keeping Kazakus would be kind of interesting. But I'm gonna just assume that he kept the 2 1-drops because we didn't get to see the mulligan. And against Hunter specifically, your turns 1 and 2 are extremely crucial. You need to be able to essentially play your minions while dealing with your opponents while not, falling behind on tempo every single turn. And Faeli just going for the 1/1 makes sense, contests the 2 1/1s, and doesn't play into the Guardian Og Merchant that is so conveniently in Furyhunter's hand right now.
And I don't like this matchup as a hunter. You really have to fight for the board, but your opponent may may take it so badly so you cannot deal with everything, and you can take an arbor up. So it's not very very simple to play against Druid playing Hunter.
The Hunter really needs curve in this matchup specifically, because one thing as the Druid player that I really hate to see is a turn 4 Wrangler into a turn 5 Rhino when I haven't completely secured the board deck. When I haven't completely secured the board yet. And as you're seeing right now, Faeli is unfortunately not able to coin out the Oracle or even go for like a good peasant turn because he's just going to fall behind on the board. Furyhunter, realizing that, is just completely taking over the board state. And now, unless you get a 1-drop, you really don't have anything to combo with your Oracle Balloon. So, the peasant still works, but it's still just one of those things to where the Hunter can just fall behind if it doesn't deal with a board.
Yeah. Okay. You have the opportunity here to play this Oracle with 2 peasants, but you know that the peasant won't survive.
We're seeing tempo be very, very crucial, because if Furyhunter can't, cleanly deal with this and still have some threats on the board, Faeli does have the other Oracle Balloon, and as well as Kazakus possibilities to start, presenting threats every single turn. And that's really what the Druid deck does very well is, okay, you dealt with one board, now time to deal with the next one. And there's the Wrangler that's very, very crucial, I would say.
Yeah, it's really nice in here because the Rhino can deal with the little tokens from the opponent. And maybe Furyhunter then will deal with this Oracle with Quick Shot. Quick Shot and Guardian Merchant. Okay, no, he prefers the aim shot. Okay.
Yeah, going for
and he deals with everything. Okay.
Better to spend all your mana. No mana unspent.
Yeah.
But this is just probably going to be, you know, play the yellow card, get the good yellow card value. All right, are we rolling a 5? That's what I'm assuming.
I guess
Taunt can actually
so.
work pretty well if you get Razormane here pretty soon. Something I love to do with this deck actually is Oracle Balloon, Razormane into 5-drop Taunt. So that way it summons 2 of the 5 drops. It's pretty good.
And the taunts can deal with the Rhino as well.
Yeah, so it looks like he did go for the 5. Yep, went for a lifesteal copy in this matchup. Probably extremely good in order to try and contest the Rhinos. This is why Kazakis is really good for the flexibility, because if this was a Panther, you would just have a 4/4 that is kind of playing into your opponent a little bit.
And we just forgot to say that Faeli is a Czech player from the team Entropic. Okay, oh, Teacher's Pet on curve, why not? Interesting card.
I mean, double 5 is very tempting. It's extremely tempting. But if you know that your opponent has a Rhino, then, I mean, the double trade can happen, but you can't really play around it, can you? Like, if he has the Rhino, he has the clear, but at least the board is gone, so you can try to win it back with a potential Razormane top deck, because that's currently the nut if Faeli ends up drawing that.
Yeah. Okay. I guess
double trade.
Yeah, I would double trade with a Crashing Air.
At least you don't take that much damage, because the lifesteal is putting a lot of work right now. Like, usually this would be game-winning for the Hunter because the hero power damage, as well as, you know, the constant tempo is just enough to secure the line. But I don't know how much healing just happened there, but it was so key to being in a somewhat good position here.
I guess he was at 24 before the root turn, and then back to 24.
Yep, so let's rebuild. That's what this deck loves to do. It's like, you've killed the second board, I think. All right, time for board number 3. Are you running out of resources yet? Because I'm going to start beating you up with these beasts, especially when we play Arbor up for value.
We didn't see Man Creek yet, so the Barak just get the other 3 drops. The spell.
The aim shot, I believe.
Do you like the piercing shot here on the... Yes, on the Teacher's Pet, I guess. What is it?
We really don't have another alternative. Like, the thing, this is where the Hunter starts to struggle a little bit, because now that they've exhausted their beasts and their their early game synergies, the late game is where this deck really starts to fall apart if you aren't winning in the next couple of turns. It's still doable because the Hunter hero power can work wonders. But once the Druid has secured the board, all it takes is 2 turns, and oh no, this is disgusting. There you go. Oracle Balloon wins game.
Yeah, it will be very difficult to now with this. Okay, doesn't play the composting right now. It takes the board, and you don't have the unleash the ounce now. Oh, okay. Second Rhino here.
Going for board makes sense to try and play around potential secrets out of the Ringling rifle, which we do see that Furyhunter has, but if he does play that, it's not really giving him a lot of options. So yeah, fighting for board with tempo, definitely what you want to do. The Rhino and the weapon work perfectly together, and it's better to just do as much as you can versus hoping and praying for some secret to solve all your problems.
No.
And even then, like, what secret would solve this? Like, Explosive Trap doesn't take care of all of this.
Okay, we have the second mule that has been turned back.
I actually saw this for the first time on the Masters Tour stream the other day, and I didn't know that this was actually a common spectator bug. Something else that's kind of interesting with the pack mule that can actually be very relevant at times is if your opponent has a watch post and then you draw the 3-drop pack mule, the one that you the copy that you get is actually 2 mana, so you have a 3 mana and a 2 mana mule, and I just always find that to be particularly useful, especially when Oracle Balloon literally discounts minions that are 2 or less, so that being 3 is a big deal. But Arbor Up just seems to be the nuts here. I think Arbor Up would probably the way.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to play this mule first? Yeah, he doesn't. He does. Oh, okay. But okay.
This is weird. Yeah. Well, I don't think I necessarily need to be a fortune teller in order to tell you what's probably going to happen in the next turn.
Okay,
But
so
Furyhunter deck doesn't really have a way to respond from this good of an Arbor Up turn. No matter what. Yeah.
we have to restart the client because it has bugged because he played the mule the back that
He played the wrong mule.
yeah, so we have to leave and then get back. Okay, so I assume he played Arbor Up. Okay, so maybe it was the end of the first match because not sure. Invite please. We had a bug. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to get back in myself. Okay, well.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure the Druid just took that away, and that's exactly what happened. I'm back in, and I can tell you that Faeli is back on the Druid, and Furyhunter is now
that's it.
Short of his lineup now, and has forced to play the Warlock, which apparently has a really good matchup because Soul Rend is a good card.
Okay, so it's 1-0 for Faeli right now. Yeah. Don't forget we are in LHS format, so he has to keep his Druid, and we won't see the Furyhunter's Hunter anymore. Okay, this one has been beaten.
Okay, so it looks like with the early turns available to Faeli are very limited. So you don't have your peasant, so you're just going to unfortunately have to rely on either a top deck taunt or, in this matchup, the Oracle Razormane 5-drop taunt combo on turn 6 can be particularly game winning. But it really comes down, at least in my experience, it comes down to the Soul Rend that can come down from the Warlock. The big AoE at the with the right timing can just steal games away, especially when you trigger your bristlebacks and your scavengers and whatnot. But Warlock has a pretty consistent way of just having enough removal to always focus on healing. I'm sorry, focusing on its healing game plan rather than just trying to win through fatigue. Ooh, but Watch Post. This actually might be a game where it could be very impactful, but when you have removal. This is kind of like one of my gripes with the card. Like, this is the best time to play Watch Post, right? And luckily, Furyhunter, decided to go with a little bit of a different line of playing a minion rather than playing the quest, and it literally pays off. Because now the Watch Post just... It got a little value, making the Battleground Battlemaster a fair card, in my opinion. But it ultimately just didn't accomplish anything. It's just one of my gripes with the card.
Do you play this Oracle? Yeah, okay. Just like that. Oh, first giant here.
It doesn't find the draw off the top, so this Oracle is sticking on the board, and guess what that means?
Don't play the wrong mule, please! Don't do that.
Well, I mean, you're definitely not going for a mule here. The double teacher's pet is just, how can you say no to it? And you can also play an Adorable Infestation in addition to that to try and stick one of the teacher's pets if you're really worried about Soul Rend. But yeah, don't play the left mule, please.
Yeah, you want the teacher's pet, but it maybe.
You think about composting?
Thinking no, I think about the four mana spell that deals 5 to all the boats, I guess.
Okay, yeah, with this play, you're definitely playing around Soul Rend. I think he was probably tossing out the possibility of playing Pack Mule into composting. That's a lot of card draw that's available to you, but one law of Hearthstone is that mana cheat is pretty much the best thing you can do. So just focusing on that seems to be the right thing, because As you can see, Furyhunter does not have the Soul Rend, doesn't have the removal, so this board isn't going anywhere. And he doesn't even he actually doesn't even have any cards that deal damage.
Yeah.
Outside of the null. This is pretty rough, man. I
Maybe
think Furyhunter used all of his luck at the Masters Tour with the way that this is going.
maybe this game will end before Faeli wants to play the wrong new.
Yeah, let's hope and pray. But I mean, composting looks really, really good next turn.
Yeah.
And with Furyhunter not having any removal, like your board space is already going to be kind of
okay. So
tight.
it didn't play the Gnoll. Okay.
Top deck Arbor just would have done it, but apparently we have to deal with this potential mule coming down a little bit longer.
Yeah, we don't want a mule.
17 damage. There's no way that you can composting attack find extra damage because the deck doesn't play nature studies, and even if you did, Cult Neophyte came down, so you just have to go for maximum damage while preventing your opponent from meaningfully destroying what your board has become here. So you could try to... I think the best move here is just to attack the 1/1 with your 1/1, play the squirrel in composting. So even if a Soul Rend comes down, you would at least have the refill and the potential for drawing acorns. But yeah, this is really hard for the Druid from here.
Yeah, sounds good.
Even gonna go so far to make that trade? I get it. You have a taunt. You could refill the board if you wanted to. I guess you're also playing around the Soul Rend by giving your opponent less cards to discard from their deck. Don't necessarily have to commit more board. You don't have the Arbor up in hand, but he's just going to go ahead and throw the Cub just to be mana efficient. I like it. Didn't play the Mule, so it's another reason I like it.
You understood me. Okay.
Is this Soul Rend or bust? Even then,
not that good.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, it's 2-0 for now.
Yeah. Finally, just going ahead and just being the menace to Furyhunter's win rate right now. It's just doesn't really have anything that he can really do to stop him right now. These draws have been very, very abysmal, to say the least. Like a full hand of really cards that don't do anything. They're just cards that pass it to your opponent, like when they already have a board. Need some removal there. Don't know what else to say.
I get they are chatting with each other. They are laughing and typing on their keyboards.
See, and that's something I really like about this kind of tournament series is that these guys are friends. Like they're having fun, even though one person is kind of getting steamrolled at the moment. It's still in good. It's still in good fun. And I mean, again, with everything that happened this weekend, it's probably just good to have a relaxing game of Hearthstone with nothing that big on the line. If your pride's that big, sure, I'll go ahead and give that to you. But
we have Super Fake on the chat. Don't know if you saw his match yesterday, but it was very amazing to see.
Oh, which one? There's one clip that a lot of people like to talk about. Whoa, was that a pack mule mulligan? That's super unlucky.
Okay, well, not for us.
Gotta win some guy. Yeah, not bad luck for us at all. On the other side, though, Furyhunter having double Immolation Aura, extremely good in this matchup. This matchup is not necessarily that good for the Demon Hunter. But Druid's biggest weakness is definitely spell damage, Immolation appears at the right time.
We have AoE to deal with the board. Okay, and Furyhunter now has to win everything with this Demon Hunter.
A well-timed I-beam would have been perfect, but I don't think that, it doesn't look like that's happening. You could have traded the Guild Trader to potentially get the I-Beam, but just setting up the quest, definitely the better way to go. But Faeli is definitely not messing around with his tempo, because here comes a turn 3 Teacher's Pet. Personally, I like Greybow when it comes down on turn 3, but, I'll settle for a Teacher's Pet.
So now you
get a discount on Acrobatics. That's not that impactful. Okay, so could randomly find a I-Beam to deal with the Razormane. Worst case scenario. But yeah, going for card draw makes sense. You complete the quest while also finding better ways of being able to deal with the board. You don't have to deal with it right now. You can just, get that meaningful push later when they've exhausted more resources. But with composting already in hand, oh whoa.
Oh, another teacher's pet. Okay.
So we have two different options here. Go for Teacher's Pet for maximum tempo, or a Noyotron composting to try and have a refill. If we assume Furyhunter's going to clear next turn, which this is probably a safe assumption just based off of his hand size. Either that or he just doesn't have a lot going for him at the moment. But even if you do play Teacher's Pet, you still have two minions that are left. Which one do you think is better here?
I like Teacher's Pet into Compost. Oh, but you cannot.
Yes, you'd have to,
so I guess for now it's Noyotron into composting. Yeah, and you can have hero power as well. Not that bad.
Yeah, this just makes the most sense to not only be mana efficient, but if anything bad happens, you at least get the card draw now versus, oh no, I have composting in my hand with a 5-drop. I don't get that value anymore. So I like this recognition from Faeli. Now this gets complicated for the Demon Hunter because there is still a... oh, wait, no, there's an Demon hand, so you can actually deal with the Teacher's Pet very well. Even a monkey is not going to save you now.
Okay, with the Faeli Ritual.
Almost made a difference, but not quite.
Okay, and the Aberop now in hand, but I guess we will see the Teacher's Pet. Oh, maybe you can post into Peasant into Wiggling Aura, maybe, to prepare your Aberop.
I know I was talking smack about Watch Post the previous game, but this is actually one of the really good matchups that I believe Watch Post has, because it really makes cards like Glide almost unplayable. Because it's not even just like the thing where like you have to worry about like not outcasting the Glide, because the last thing that you want to do is give Druid card draw, but now you can't even play it in a way to benefit yourself because you're just gonna essentially do exactly what the quest doing the opposite of the quest. So this could be one of those matchups where you can steamroll it, but if you have the removal like Furyhunter does, then it doesn't really do anything.
Okay, do you think that Faeli will run out of cards soon? Because a Compost has already been played and his hand is almost empty right now. Yes,
there's possibility for Kisaki to pull this back, but looking ahead to Furyhunter's draws, like he's just got a lot of proactive. He's doing what he wants for his deck right now. He's completing the quest. The Druid doesn't necessarily have a board that's gonna win if Arbor Up comes down, because it's not about necessarily worrying about Arbor Up winning the game. It's you want to pressure your opponent to play that Arbor Up to where you don't die. If you could do that as the Demon Hunter against the Druid, then you can go for a really impressive clear in order to destroy any chances that they have to come back. And as the Demon Hunter having a really proactive combo to physically kill your opponent, all you really need are those 1 or 2 clears to make that big of a difference. Yeah, so he just needs one more turn of drawing cards. Quest, and Faeli hits a Peasant off the top.
Yeah.
So this might be that situation I'm talking about, where Faeli might feel like, I have to play my board and I have to play Arbor Up in order to just maximum damage, but it's just...
You have to do
Furyhunter had Gold Revelation Auras on the mulligan. Like, you can't... You could actually read that far left card might be useless to him, but it's actually exactly what he wants.
and the camera is kind of praying Faeli right now. I guess he wants to. Yeah, he will. He will use this Arbor Up. You have to do something. You cannot wait that much that your opponent gets what you want to draw.
Else that I should point out is that Furyhunter was just, the reverse sweep god at the last Masters Tour. So maybe this is just part of his master plan, just to come in and just reverse sweep Faeli in order to prove a point. But this is going to be, you know, the key turn to where he might actually be able to complete his quest and deal with the board. And yeah, it does it very, very effectively. Doesn't even need the discount, but has just enough cards in order to make the Immolation Aura sing like a bird. And now Faeli is down to 1 card in hand against a Demon Hunter, 20 HP.
Not that bad, but you have the Oracle though, so this 1 card is 2 cards now.
Yeah, this or Kazakus was pretty much what you needed, right? Because I mean, I guess Kazakus was the next turn, so you could decide to either go for a 10, or if you really want to push the tempo, go for a 5. But I mean, look at that 5 mana Il'gynoth and that 1 mana Talented Arcanist available. Like this is not looking good for the Druid, unfortunately.
No.
How are you gonna wait? Hold on a minute. No, there's actually hope. Kazakus into 5 mana poisonous deal 3. Okay, but that dream's gone. The dream is gone. Another reason why I love Kazakus, you get to be a dreamer sometimes. But I don't know if.
But yeah, the good thing is that maybe we'll see the hunter from Faeli with King Mukla.
Well, that's true. We do get to see some potential from Monkey. Gotta give Monkey the credit that's due. But I mean, Druid going 2-0, definitely what you want at the beginning. So the Demon Hunter now has to deal with Face Hunter and Garrote Rogue, which, you know, isn't really that bad for the Demon Hunter. So this actually, that last matchup might have been key to Faeli winning this entire set, due to the fact that, you know, if Demon Hunter has Glide against the Rogue or has Healing against the Hunter, it could be really hard to win those matchups.
Okay, and we talked about the way that Furyhunters managed to play his Rogue very well at the world class level, but don't forget that he won the Master Tour also with this this week. He plays Demon Hunter, and he had very good results with
the Demon Hunter and the Rogue seems to be you know, definitely key to having a strong lineup. His lineup is not exactly what he had in the Masters Tour in replacing Quest Warlock and Face Hunter for I believe Quest Control Warrior with Mutanus and Vol'jin, as well as Aggro Shaman with Doomhammer. So a little bit of a different field that he was looking to target there. And it was also Conquest, so that's a completely different strategy in general. But these decks are still, like, you know, we're still seeing in this line of competition that, you know, Rogue Demon Hunter seems to be good, Warlock still very fringe, and Hunter just seems to be a very good third class as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly what's going on right here. Look at this third one.
Very good start from Faeli. You have what you want when you play with a coin. This Intrepid Initiate into coin.
Like one of the strongest third ones that's available in the game.
Oh, there is a dog. Hi, dog.
That's a good girl protecting my house. Yeah, I'm never worried with my dog around, as you can tell. Very scary sound. Speaking of scary, dude, look at this Divine Shield. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is insane for a turn 2 board. That's a Felmaw that's attacking face right now on turn 2.
Oh, I beam. Okay, I beam.
I mean, I beam really, really crucial.
Yeah, interesting.
Does
I beam,
help.
yeah.
You do have Glide available too, so you can just, you know, do what you can to survive this turn. Try to complete your quest, or at least complete one of your quest lines next turn. Ooh, okay. That was great.
Yeah, interesting, because Ice Beam reduced, so we can also play the Sigil of Alacrity.
You don't technically need it, but it's better just to play it now, just so that way it doesn't get redrawn by the Glide, and so you don't add more cards into your deck. So might as well just play all the cards that you can, and just, you know, why not? Like, it's just draw another card. Why not do it? But now the Felmaw is coming down since the other Felmaw got killed. you know, back to square one, have to rebuild. Hope the Demon Hunter doesn't find more ways of healing. Barak Kotobane, though, sitting in hand as a good replenish tool, which is definitely necessary in some of these games. But is it going to be, you know, fast enough to deal with the Demon Hunter drawing through its entire deck almost by like turn 8? Already almost completed the quest too. He's going to be able to get the Kurtrus very easily with the Glide next turn. I don't think he has a possibility of hitting it now. Yeah, you don't have any more ways of discounting mana or drawing cards. So the quest is not progressing for a turn 5 Kurtrus. So just go for the removal. See what we got top.
This turn is not really good for Faeli here. You don't want to play this Guardian Orc Merchant this way, but you have to, I guess, with hero power. And then we'll have a decent Barak then next turn. But his draw is not very good with this true aim creation. Maybe his true aim into... Do you play the curb into instead of Orc Merchant? Just because you
this
can...
is a little bit... This is pretty difficult. I think you hold on to the Guardian Orc Merchant for the possibility of, if you have to play defensively, maybe you can trade your Felma or something after it awakens. But at the same time, it's like you kind of have to push as much damage as possible, because like that line that I just described, you don't want to do that as Hunter. You don't want to play defensive. You want to push maximum damage and hope your opponent doesn't get the removal, as like, because it's all about giving them time. You don't want to give them time to find their routes, so you have to go for the possibility of, the only way I'm winning is going for the push now. That's exactly what Faeli is doing, and Furyhunter has to find some kind of way of either healing himself or completing the quest.
Yeah, it's a good question. You have to deal with the imprisoned Felmo. So I guess a little ill is interesting.
Yeah, just going for the healing, putting himself at a healthy 26. Felma hits face. You're not really that mad, to be honest.
Okay.
And okay, kills the 1-3. Honestly, that was the worst roll for Faeli. If you wanted to hit a minion, you want that Mohawk gone. But you do have a Warsong Wrangler now to try and give you some more gas. And you still have the Barak Kotobane, you know, holding off for the dream for the Mancrick. But I don't think Mancrick's really going to be that impactful here. I think the Rhinos actually might make a big deal. Especially if you have the weapon equipped still.
I guess sure. There's not that many minions on play on Demon Hunter's side on this kind of matchup, so not sure.
The funny thing about this actually is, no matter what Faeli does, Furyhunter can just play Glide, so it could just go back into the deck. Oh wait, I forgot about Overtinger. Never mind. Okay, so pushing the tempo is definitely the correct play. You don't have to worry about Glide potentially ruining any of your outs.
Okay. So, would it be the double jump first or the tradable? Oh, I-beam number 13? I don't know how many I-beam yeah.
Yeah, Furyhunter going for just maximum tempo. Actually, I'm sorry, not maximum tempo. Going for maximum card draw and progressing the quest, while also removing. Very, very important that we get you know, as much of the Hunter board dealt with. And with the other Immolation Aura also drawn, very, very important.
We have a connection issue. We'll deal with it. But I have both players connected on the camera, so it's weird.
Yeah, it just might be the Hearthstone client being buggy, which is something that we've come to expect nowadays. Yeah, okay, it looks like I can't get back into the game, unfortunately.
Okay, I can see them playing in cam. We're waiting for player to reconnect. That's okay. So I can tell you that we have first result on this Max League 5 Run 2. I'm gonna give it to you. Just starting it. It's
kind of unfortunate that we got connected where we did. It was very crucial point of the game to where like that's where a good Demon Hunter player can really shine, is being able to deal with threats like that, you know. And yeah, once we get back into this game, we'll show you guys.
I guess the players are watching as well. I see them on the camera and they're watching. So it's in the Group B. Yala managed to deal with Eden Proc and won 3-1, and it was a rematch from the final of the Max Open Cup 7, won by Yala, and Eden Proc was the runner-up player. And we have Floki that won versus Trazen, because Trazen had an issue. He cannot continue to participate in the event because of medical issues. So we have a thought for him, and we wish
getting well as soon as possible.
Yeah, and we have a thought also for the Hearthstone client, because I guess it's dead or maybe maybe almost dead. So I'm checking if they contacted me. No. So I'm gonna check if they are waiting for opponent to reconnect. And Faeli. Okay, it's on Faeli's side. Furyhunter is connected, but Faeli is not connected.
Yeah, I'm experiencing the same thing, unfortunately.
Okay.
So just looking ahead to because I think that Furyhunter was probably going to win that game, and we'll just, you know, for the sake of example, we'll just say that he did, to figure out what might be the best strategy for Faeli in order to for Faeli to take this away, because it'll come down to the Rogue versus Demon Hunter matchup, which is debatably like extremely bad for the Rogue if a good glide does come down at the right time. And there's actually a lot of specifics about that matchup that you have to know as the Rogue in order to try and maximize your win rate, because you have to try and not only play out all of your cards, but not hoard all of your cards, you know, to not lose everything to the glide. And I just think that that matchup in particular is probably one of the most interesting, yet one of the most difficult in the metagame right now.
So I have news from Faeli. He says, I should be back soon. Internet is not cooperating today. So
okay.
He'll be back. And we have Enigma on the chat. Enigma from the team Entropic as well. That he was in the Maxland 3.
Yeah, like, something else I really like about this tournament series is how tightly knit the community is. Like, I'm seeing a lot of very big names from varying countries, and it's just really amazing the organization that this type of league has. So I just got to commend you on organizing such a thing.
Thanks. We'll add the Maximus station will have fifth anniversary next month, and we have a special stream to celebrate. Okay, it's back online, and we have a huge board to deal with.
Okay. So it looks like my prediction might be proven wrong, because Faeli's at the board, but I unfortunately can't see Furyhunter's hand at the moment. But I remember there was an immolation aura in there.
Okay, so, it's a guild trader, and editor is Tudis. ClarkHellScream blast twice because he just throw another one. Immolation aura, and the Demon Slayer Kurtros. He's playing Immolation aura. But you're singing, you're singing that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exactly what you would want to do in this situation. Like, you know that you're not dead after playing Kertra, so you kind of have to play him, otherwise you will be dead on the following turn.
Yeah.
But with that top deck Rhino from Faeli, oh my god, like that, there might be a way to just like generate a bunch of damage to where the Hellscream matter. Because if I remember correctly, you didn't say that he had like any major card draw tools like Glide or like Acrobatics available. So if Furyhunter whiffs and if you got a good board, it might just win the game. And also with a Cult Neophyte, you can try to stop some of the damage from some of the spells from comboing into each other.
Yeah, I like Neophyte. Do you say Neophyte or Neophyte? Cult Neophyte?
Neophyte.
Cult Neophyte. Okay, I like Cult
I'm
Neophyte.
Fighting somebody because I'm angry that they played that card.
I like this into Aim Shot, into Hero Power, and try to have the damage from end. Okay.
And I can see the hand now.
It prefers Quick Shot to keep his Aim Shot secret. I like this. I like this. So next turn he has at least 7 from end.
Okay, so Glide. It could actually do something very, very wacky. And it's not just because you get to replenish your hand, but your entire hand is going to essentially be 1 mana less because of the Cult Neophyte that's currently in effect. But if you hit like oh wait, no, this is actually much better. What am I thinking? Go for the guaranteed healing, Clark. This is much better. Because now the Hunter's starting to run out of options. Piercing Shot at the top gives them more gas. But Rhino, very, very tempting.
Yeah, I like Rhino because you have presence on board, so...
Yeah, you keep your presence on board. I think we've seen 1 I-Beam. We've actually seen 2 I-Beams. 1 was generated randomly, though, so there's still another natural 1 in the deck. Worst case scenario, you can just play Hellscream Blast with your hero power, but that doesn't really seem that effective. Yeah, Furyhunter just trying to go for maximum healing if he ends up hitting the I-Beam.
Ooh.
But now he can just end up drawing his entire deck, and oh no, this is where the game's gonna get stolen. I think he may not even need to go for healing. He might just have lethal. Oh god. Oh no.
It draws 30 cards this turn.
Yeah, that does it. That's 30 damage. Ah, this deck is insane sometimes.
Yeah, I assume. So it's 2-2. It's 2-2 and Reuters. It takes a few minutes. Okay, 2-2. So, if you are now Faeli, what do you think about the incoming and last matchup with your rogue?
You better know how to play this matchup. That's what I'm thinking. Like, kind of like what I was saying earlier with my prediction that did come true after all. Haha. I was saying how Rogue has kind of a difficult time of navigating this matchup due to the fact that you can't really afford to hold on to your entire hand because there's always the fear of what if my opponent plays Glide. And especially in this matchup, if you've exhausted a field contact and you've exhausted a lot of your draw cards like your Shroud of Concealments and your Swindles, it's not necessarily about, it's not about your hand being gone. It's about your hand being added into your deck, and now you have more cards that you have to draw in order for your Garrotes to win the game. And then you also have the healing from the Demon Hunter, so you kind of need your full combo. So there's a lot of things that can kind of just fall apart in this matchup, depending on what the Demon Hunter draws and what they get randomly out of their Eldari studies sometimes. So Faeli just really needs to understand how... He has to be really good at risk assessment, I guess, is the best thing I could say. But just, play your cards right. As the forehead answer.
Yeah. Okay, so it will be right back in few seconds, I assume. And after this game, guys, you may have noticed that we'll have another game involving wiRer from Luxembourg. The players from the Max team versus Fled, the Brazilian Grandmaster. I cannot say to have Fled involved in this Max League 5. It's the first time that the Max League is worldwide. Global event. Before that, it was French event, then a European event, and now it's a global event. And I'm really happy for that. We have very great players from all around the world. And in this incoming January, we'll have the Max League of Nations 2 with 48 nations involved. But oh, your game has been disconnected from Blizzard Game Service, so I have to go back. Okay, please invite me for the third time. Furyhunter, I love Hearthstone and the developers.
I'm actually, I'm in the game right now. You said that you can't see it at the moment.
Okay, but developers are not the one to be blamed. It's the project manager. Because I am IT project manager, so I know that you have to make tests. You know, you test your thing before packaging, before delivering. And well, then everything's okay.
And I can tell you that nothing eventful has happened as of right now. Only thing that has gone down is a hero power from the rogue, and Furyhunter has developed a sigil of alacrity, however you pronounce it, the sigil. But from Faeli's side at the moment, he did just get a swindle, so he has ways of being able to cheat it out with a prep, but he's just going to go for a minion into a swindle. There's also a secret passage, a Garrote, and a ethereal Og Merchant in the hand. So the total hand was secret passage, Garrote, prep, ethereal Og Merchant. And off of the swindle, he just got another swindle and another ethereal Og Merchant. On the Demon Hunter side, you see an Il'gynoth, a ClarkHellScream Blast, a Glide. Furyhunter is the one on coin, a Spectral Sight, and a Guild Trader. But this turn, he has gone for some draw and has picked up a Tusk Spear, as well as a discounted Spectral Sight, which is going to be pretty key to completing this quest as soon as possible, which is really, really important. Faeli did just pick up an Octobot, though. That is huge.
I'm back in the game.
All right, there we go. Solo casting complete.
Yeah. So what do you think about Faeli not choosing preparation on previous turn to play his swindle, and then after the first swindle, not playing his second preparation, his preparation to play the second one?
I mean, what's more interesting right now is the fact that he's going for Octobot into swindle versus... is he really being greedy with the prep, saying that, you know, I want to just combo this with Shroud of Concealment? Like, the one thing I don't like about holding the prep is if your opponent does play Glide, it's just kind of screws everything up, which is exactly what's happening right now. Unfortunately, I think Furyhunter kind of understands that Faeli hasn't played a lot of the cards to the left in a minute, and you're also just denying value off the Octobot. Which, wait, hold on. Question: Why didn't Furyhunter hit the Octobot first? He could have gotten rid of the discounts entirely. It actually didn't really matter all too much because Faeli didn't get anything that good off the draw. But what if, you know, field contact was in hand right now? This actually would have been kind of good. I guess you want to guarantee, you know, procs with your quest. Maybe that's what Furyhunter was thinking. But yeah, I think that's interesting that he didn't proc the Octobot. Yeah, with a Cult Neophyte coming down with the Divine Shield thanks to the Guardian Og Merchant, Octobot is still ripe for use but doesn't get any value. So the Demon Hunter for Fury probably just going to focus on card draw and completing the quest.
Yeah.
With an Il'gynoth and a Moarg in hand, yeah, this is pretty dicey.
Incredible number 2. Okay, you can have another one and another one.
There you go. Another one.
Okay, yeah. Quest completed on 5.
I feel like you have to... Okay, there we go. There we go. We're hitting that Octobot. We're getting that discount, so that way you know, field contact does just absolutely steal the game. But this would still be the best draw, would be field contact, but Colt Neophyte off the top. Not going to stop a Kurtrus from coming down, so this is kind of how this deck performs when you don't draw the field contact. But at the same time, Faeli did get glided, and this is exactly the nightmare that can happen in this matchup.
Yeah. Okay, they want to play this kill team fight here. They're thinking about it. Okay, don't think so. Okay. Demon Slayer Kurtrus played very fast. It's never flied so fast.
Kind of tells you how good
and
it is,
another
right?
one.
And we got a 0 mana. Oh, dude, hold on a minute. 2 Moargs for 1 mana and a 5 mana Il'gynoth. All you really need now is spell damage and a lifesteal card, and you've got it.
Okay.
On the other side, Faeli has nothing.
Will Furyhunter do every time the thing that he made this week? 0-2 into 3-2.
Oh, we got the spell damage. Oh no. Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. He can put him to 21. That's not lethal, is it? With just the I-beam? I don't even think you have enough mana. Yeah, you don't even have enough mana to play all the cards for that.
No.
Oh, you got it. Oh, shit. Dang. Even more spell damage. You have the card draw now. You get the Guild Trader. If you need to glide, you can do it, but it's probably not worth it. Spectral Sight.
So many cards.
Actually went with the Sigil Runner. Yeah, okay. This situation worked out. I'm surprised he didn't go for Spectral Sight though. That would have been 2 cards. I guess you didn't necessarily need it. You already have like the combo pretty much made. You have board, and the Rogue for the I think 4th turn in a row after the glide did not get the field contact.
Yeah.
So this deck is just a really bad arena deck now.
You're so dependent on one card in this deck.
Yeah, you're dependent on 2 cards, Octobot and field contact.
Yeah.
But yeah, field contact's really freaking important. I guess Garrote's pretty important too, but I mean,
you
they're
can
focusing on
it with
semantics at that point.
And Furyhunter smiling at the camera. He cannot believe he can make it another time from 0-2 to 3-2. Furyhunter's the Furyhunter's way. Yeah. And everyone.
Hunters often do, going for maximum damage, because why wouldn't you? You got to show your opponent who's boss. Boom, exactly.
20.
Very, very satisfying.
And ace 3-2 another time. GG Furyhunter. So we have both players in a little interview on Discord. So I'm gonna ask them, and we are adding them in this conversation. Okay, thanks for the games. Okay, for a little interview. Okay.
Yeah, Furyhunter probably feeling really, really good after getting yet another reverse sweep, which was exactly how he got his Masters Tour crown. I'm pretty sure this is just, just standard for him at this point. But Faeli definitely got to be feeling pretty bad about not hitting that field contact, which is really, really what was the reasoning for the loss in that game. Because there was nothing you could do afterwards. You had no proactive turns. You were just waiting for the Demon Hunter to brick on their draws, and that you can't expect a Demon Hunter. Looks like we got him in here, I think.
Yeah. Are you here, guys? Furyhunter, Faeli.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. GG for the games, and thank you for that really nice show, really nice games, confrontation, the revenge maybe from the Maxland 3, when only Faeli dealt with the Furyhunters and make him his only defeat. How do you feel about the game? Maybe Faeli first.
Yeah, it was almost the rematch. It was almost the same lineups, I think. I played like one different deck. I only switched from Weapon Rogue to Garrote Rogue, which in the end was definitely worse against the Demon Hunter, but it wouldn't be that much difference because Furyhunter was playing Viper anyway, so I wouldn't be that much favorite. So yeah, but it was basically the same lineups again.
Yeah.
This time, I think Fury banned something else and me as well. No, I didn't. I banned Rogue again, but Fury banned something else. I'm not sure. Fury did. Do you remember what you banned in Paris?
In Paris, I banned your Rogue. I was gonna ban your Demon Hunter, but I didn't want you to have that information for top 8. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So I would have banned the same if I banned correctly in Paris.
And
Okay.
yeah, I predicted it will gonna go like this. I even tweeted how it's gonna go. I'm gonna go to and then lose. It happened.
Now it's the Furyhunter's way to 0-2 into a 3-2. We know that now.
Yeah.
And Furyhunter, wasn't it difficult to go back into LHS format from this this weekend in a Conquest format? Was it difficult to change your mind this way?
Not really, because I practiced quite a bit for Paris already, so
yeah.
I was already into that mindset. Then I went over to Conquest, but I still remembered all my practice for Paris. So, and I just brought the same lineup as in Paris, so it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So Furyhunter, I have a question for you. How many reverse sweeps do you have to do in order for you to be happy?
Maybe like 100 more, maybe a little bit more than that. But then I'll be happy.
Yeah, dude, I just gotta go ahead and say that like you've been absolutely killing it in every single method of Hearthstone. So it's just great to see, just see it for myself. That last game was a great example of what can happen if you just play your outs right. And again, top decking can always be, the way, especially when you get that glide right in time. So just congratulations, man. Well, so my next question for you actually is, what's the best way that you've noticed to kind of prepare for these different formats? Obviously, last year Standing and Conquest kind of demand different skill sets. So how do you prepare for different formats?
I talk to people a lot about different matchups. Then we test some decks. I didn't actually play a lot of best of fives in testing. I just tested some matchups, played some ladder, and looked at a ton of stats. I like looking at stats a lot. And I often don't like disagreeing too much with stats. Maybe I say like this matchup is 5% more than stats, maybe 10%, but not more than that. Where some people might be like, this deck is favored against everything. I highly disagree with that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a question for Faeli. The last game, you didn't play the preparation on 2 or 3. I don't remember to play the Swindle. And then you got another Swindle, and you kept the preparation, and you didn't play the second one. Why did you keep this preparation in end?
Well, I didn't feel like I need to play it as soon as possible. Like I was probably losing to Glide anyway, and I was just saving it for making a big turn. Like when I play the Contact, then I want to play everything or as many cards as possible. So basically, the idea was to save it for the Contact turn, which was never. But yeah. I don't think I needed extra 2 mana at any point, so like I had the easy activation for the first Swindle with the Pirate, and then the second one I wanted to play the Octobot anyway, so yeah, I didn't feel like the preparation was needed for any reason. Like I could play it just to get rid of it, just to not draw it later if I get glided, but yeah, like as I said, if I get glided, I probably lose anyway, so I was just saving as many resources to the big turn as possible.
Okay, and you made our spectate bug when you played the mule, the second mule, the copied one, when we spectate the game, this card is cursed, and when you play it, we cannot say anything, so we had to get back. in the game.
Yeah, my apologies, but yeah, I'm not often in the position of being streamed, so yeah, I didn't really think about which one to play. I could have chosen the other one, but yeah, it was.
Wait, I didn't know about the bug. It was very weird to see. The card was reversed. We didn't see we saw the card back instead of the front.
I always see this when I'm watching like Masters Tour or something, or Grandmasters. They always see this bug and they always talking about it, but I have like it didn't come to mind when it happened to me. So
no problem.
One of those and didn't really think about which one.
You focus on the games. That's perfect. Furyhunter, do you have a word about the Master Tour you run yesterday? Was the night short? Did you have the time to rest?
I mean, I went to bed pretty late, but yeah, it was nice. Obviously, winning Masters Tour is great. Yeah, I was very happy, and I'm still very happy. So yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had all the emotions yesterday with all the reverse sweeps. Then you're like, ah, shit, I'm out of the tournament. Oh shit, I'm back in it. Yeah, okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
Don't really want a day like that soon again because my heart can't take it. It was just racing all day.
And you had a great community behind you. Notably on the orange stream during all the third day from this top 16, and it was very nice to see you climb this ladder from top 16 to top 8, top 4, top 2, and see you play with our nerves from 0-2 to 3-2. It was very nice. And thank you
for work over here.
Thank you.
I would like to just 3-0 sometimes instead of reverse sweeping, but yeah.
I mean, a reverse sweeping is just 3-0ing in a different way.
Yeah, that's true. I can look at it like that. Maybe a few more nerves there, but yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you for the games. We are leading to the next match, including wiRer and Fred. So see you, and thanks one more time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the next match.
Yeah. Okay, I'm calling you back on the other conversation, Clark. Okay, so this one. Okay, and Clark. I'm calling Clark back. Clark. Okay, here you are. May you turn your camera on? Thank you. I have a bug on Discord, and when I add people in a conversation, then the camera of the first guy I have in this conversation won't display anymore. So it's no big deal because I have your picture. That's why I have picture, and your picture is very, very. Okay, guys, we are looking to the other lineup, starting with wiRer. Just a word about the game first, because we are now in the Group C. The Group C with Fled, that won his first match, and you see that Rami 94, Raze, and Warmer performed as well. And wiRer lost his first match, so he has to win tonight, because you know that only the two first players will be reaching the playoffs. So now it's very important for wiRer. Okay, just displaying his lineup now. Okay, starting with Fred. Do you hear me, Clark? You hear?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay, Fred. So, which one has been banned? It's the Druid. So Fred is bringing a Paladin, a Rogue, a Druid, and a Hunter, but we won't see the Druid. The Paladin.
On the other side, we got wiRer bringing Hunter, Demon Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior, and his Rogue has been banned. I find it very interesting that wiRer actually isn't playing Shaman in this in this field of competition. I'm assuming that Elemental Shaman is just probably not exactly what you want when you want to win every single game of Hearthstone. It's probably good in like a specific field, but in Last Hero Standing, I feel like, Elemental Shaman can kind of be accounted for, especially with like all the weapon techs that people might be having. And that's exactly what we're kind of seeing from wiRer. He has two Vipers actually in his Quest Hunter. So this is definitely something I was not expecting to see in this this field of tournament. So that's just, another point to wiRer for having a very risky lineup, I would say, in terms of like, people may, kind of underestimate this kind of strategy at first, but I think that's kind of his power is, as a deck builder, you're bringing cards that people aren't familiar with, so therefore they're more likely to underestimate it.
Yeah, I assume. And so what is it? Okay, no good. What about this this Libram Paladin? We'll see it really often on the ladder right now. How do you feel with this deck in such a lineup?
Libram Paladin's kind of in an interesting place in Hearthstone, I would say, because for some reason, Paladin still finds ways of performing, but then when you see it in action, it falls apart all the time. So it's just one of those things to where I think if you're trying to counter Warlock specifically, with all the Divine Shields and all the removal that you have, like anything that, doesn't want to see like a Barav combo, for example, really doesn't like to see this Paladin deck. But there is just times where you're just gonna low roll based off of your draws. Like if you have double Pupil, double Hope on the mulligan, and there's just, there's not much that you can really do with a hand like that unless your deck supports you off the top. So that's kind of the weird thing about Paladin. It's either really good or really bad. And there are some times in the middle where you can play for mid game and kind of just like make your way back, because Paladin has a lot of great comeback tools, such as their removal and their Blade Master Samuro combos and stuff like that. But Paladin is just in a weird position, I would say.
Yeah, and he plays 2 copies of City Tax,
and it also performs. Like that's another thing. It is performing in these tournaments. It's not just like one person's doing really well with it. Multiple people seem to do well with Paladin.
And okay, he's playing a variant as well. Okay, not everyone plays this card. Okay, interesting. And two broomsticks. Okay, we'll see that. And then we have this rogue. Has it been banned? No. The rogue hasn't been banned. Is the same one as usual.
Yeah.
Okay. And the hunter without Mukla. We didn't see the Mukla of Faeli. Yeah. Okay, we can go to wiRer license. Oh, I forgot to do something. No problem. Here and here. wiRer. Okay, like this. wiRer's lineup with a hunter, demon hunter, rogue, and warrior. And as you said before, the rogue has been banned, so we have the hunter. With double viper in it. Okay, and Professor Slade.
Very, very.
Okay.
It's also got Professor Slade in there too. So like this, it's not even just the fact that this is a quest hunter. I feel like this is a very specific. Like he's got an idea in mind, like being able to defeat as many decks as possible. Because sometimes you do need that Professor Slate Bola Shot combo if you're fighting a little bit more of a grindier matchup. And actually, like Quest Hunter is pretty good against like decks like Aggro Druid, for example. Just based off how much removal they have, they can easily kill your 2/3s even if you try to protect them with Divine Shield. So Quest Hunter is one of those decks that where it's a lot more powerful than people would usually give it credit for. And then on the Warrior side, we actually saw this Warrior deck perform pretty consistently at the last Masters Tour.
Yeah.
And I think this is actually the Warrior deck that Furyhunter ran in his lineup as well. I think wiRer played this too. But the biggest things to keep in mind about this deck is that it's got a Shadowhunter Vol'jin and a Mutanus for a lot of quest hate. So if you're trying to, eat like a Kurtrus or pull it from the hand, that there's a lot of possibilities there. And then you just have the infinite value of the quest to, generate damage and generate minions if you need a late game strategy. So this deck is really interesting, and it's something that I'm actually going to be playing later today in a tournament myself. But this Warrior deck is definitely you can't immediately dismiss it like most people would.
Yeah, and you can notice that it has at least 20 legendaries in it, and on the other side, I like the combination between Mana Feeder Pantera and Selective Breeder to draw more, because the issue with Quest Hunter is a draw. So this combo is really interesting.
Something else that I'm noticing with wiRer's lineup is that it feels like this lineup is trying to bully Garrote Rogue. Like, you have the warrior in order to, you know, gain armor to hopefully prevent spell damage from winning, and also it's important to note that Fled does not have Guild Trader or Talented Arcanist in the deck, so his spell damage reach is going to be very limited by his Ethereal Aug Merchants and Shadow Step combos. Demon Hunter, as we saw in the last series, Glide, easy peasy. And I think Quest Hunter, let me actually check the stats on that one. I don't know how good Quest Hunter is into Garrote Rogue, but being able to deal with a field contact no matter what happens seems like a pretty good, occurrence. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, so Garrote Rogue is 60% against Quest Hunter. So it's not the worst matchup in the world, but it still seems pretty good against Garrote Rogue overall.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we can give the players a go to start the game. So we have now we'll have wiRer at the bottom of your screen, if I do this correctly. So like this.
No. It looks like they're getting into their match right now. So the next minute or so, we'll have this game ready for you guys. We don't know what they're queuing yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and use my last hero standing powers because I used to play DreamHack back in the day. So I'm going to go ahead and predict that Fled is going to start off with his Rogue, and let's see, wiRer's probably going to start off with the Hunter. That's going to be my guess.
Okay, so just doing this and this. Okay, so wiRer is preparing to battle a friend, and I guess Fled does as well. Will be interesting. Okay, preparing to battle a friend. Oh, some move. Okay, we lost connection on the Fled's camera, but it's okay now. Okay, wiRer, where are you? Okay, it's now. We lost Fled on the cam. It's no big deal.
Yeah, Fled ended up dyeing his hair this weekend, right? Isn't that what happens? If I remember correctly. Yeah, he ended up dyeing his hair. For those of you who don't know, Super Fake, one of his practice mates, ended up performing extremely well at the Masters Tour. I think he made either top 16 or top 8. And so Fled, in celebration, dyed his hair the same color as Moonfang, because Super Fake is the guy who was known for bringing Moonfang Priest. And oh my god, I saw it on stream and I could not believe how consistent that deck seemed to perform. And I might have to try it after I'm done climbing ranked and trying to get myself a finish. But that deck looks pretty freaking sweet, to say the least.
Yeah, so okay, it's finally starting. We had an issue, and I have an issue with okay, I have an issue with
I'm just now realizing the picture that you used for me. I love it. It's got the
this one is very cool. Okay, I'm gonna do this like this.
Cool Neophyte, Piercing Shot, Adorable Infestation, the Felmaw, and the Mulligan for Fled. I don't know if he's running out of time or if he's really thinking, but this probably as a full keep isn't that good. wiRer on the other side has Raid the Docks, Stage Dive, and the 3/4 Pirate that gains +2 attack for your hero. Stormwind Freebooter. Sorry, I need to brush up on my pirates. I try to ignore that Pirate Warrior. It still exists.
Yeah. Okay, so we have both ends. Only one cam, but it's no big deal. Starting with this imprisoned Felmaw. I don't know how is the matchup with this Control Warrior versus this Hunter.
pretty much control warrior.
Yeah. Okay.
It's control warrior with pirates in order to distract you from the fact that it's actually control warrior. At least when you're on ladder, like what this deck is aimed to do. But when you know what you're going up against, it's pretty obvious that you got to play around removal. You got to play around potentially big minions. But as hunter, you only really have one clear direction. You know, going face, do what you can. And this is just one of those times where you just got to play your cards, hope the warrior doesn't have too many removal tools. But as we can see from wiRer's side, he's got at least 2 rush minions over the course of the next couple of turns once he reaches, you know, the mana point to play them. But Fled is actually going to be able to take over the board here if this continues.
Okay, it's interesting. So we have this Stormwind Freebooter.
Yeah, drawing a pirate, not really that impactful, especially when you're floating 1 mana. I would not be surprised to see the Bulwark come down here just to eat the Felmaw, because that's going to be 6 damage thanks to the 2/3 that came out. And if you go with the Freebooter, like, you're dealing 2 damage. Maybe you can kill the 1-drop, but okay, it looks like wiRer disagrees and says that, you know, the damage isn't that much of a priority right now. I have a clear for it next turn, and the Felmaw can miss, but, you know, if I know Felmaws, I was going face 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's scripted.
And now there's a Divine Shield that can be put on the Felmaw or on the 2/3, which I don't know if I'm pretty sure you want to put it on the Felmaw in order to prevent, like, you know, any kind of removal happening. Clearly, we can see the Kargath in hand, but I guess Fled wants to try and protect the card that buffs the rest of the board in order to make this Og Merchant and the Felmaw a little bit more impressive. So I definitely understand his reason for this, and I also have information to the Kargath coming down here to, you know, deal with this board here. But I wonder how wiRer's actually going to trade here. A few different options here, but yeah, maximum removal probably the way to go.
Oh, I like the use of this Kargath. Okay, I will open the door to the cat. I love the cat.
There's 2 options here, Rifle and Wrangler, but which one's better? You could trade the Divine Shield if you really want to develop the minion, but when do you give a better time to play Rifle?
Oh,
yeah, this is the time.
So what would it be? Pack tactics, I guess. You like this? You want to copy this with the what is it? Divine Shield. Okay.
Yeah, but with that Whirling Combatant off the top, at least now you can get rid of the Divine Shield. But if you are floating a mana and you're not necessarily doing that much. Like, you're just getting a Divine Shield. That's your turn. Don't think I like that. Just going for the quest completion. Pretty sure, yeah, this draws the weapon, so you don't get to deal damage yet. I don't think you really cared. Like, you don't really care about this minion right now. You just want to focus on board.
No.
That was the one disadvantage to going for the Rifle play versus going for the Wrangler, but I still think that this is... I still think that Fled's in a good position here. You got Cotobane. You still have a good amount of beasts in order to keep your opponent busy. But the biggest thing right now is that wiRer doesn't really have like that much removal at the moment, but I might just be underestimating what this deck can do. But if Fled has all the damage...
There is a funny comment on the chat. Joye telling 0-2 Puris is in comfort zone. That's it. From 0-2 to 3-2.
There you go, dude.
Okay, back tactics. Okay, so as we said previously, Fled is Grandmaster from Brazil. We may don't know him very well in Europe and France. He's a very, very good player, and wiRer just made a top 21st in the previous Master Tour.
Yeah, both very esteemed players, which is why you know, I'm looking at these lines, and it's not necessarily that I don't agree with them. It's that I don't 100% understand them, and that's something that I absolutely love about casting, is that you get a lot of opportunities to you know, learn from the best, because these guys spend so much time playing and they understand these matchups a lot better than I do.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
we do.
yeah, just look for...
Okay, interesting. Second, what is his name? Colic for the Rhino. It's more damage phase. Oh, it doesn't want to play?
Hey, that's a 7-attack Rhino. It's pretty juicy, man. Like, it's not lethal, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Luckily, this Bulwark, though, is just, you know, eating a bunch of the damage. But wiRer does not have AoE available to him outside of 1 damage AoE. It's not really that impactful here.
Is it something you can do with this Vol'jin here? I'm not sure.
If you Vol'jin anything, it's just coming back down. So if anything, you would probably do it to the Barak Kodo Bane, but then you're giving your Hunter opponent more reload.
Okay.
There's maybe one more card they can get. Yeah, there's one more 3-drop that's still available in the deck. I think there's a 2-drop. So I don't think there's anything good to bounce back.
Interesting. So do you let the Rhino live just to have the Frenzy? I'm not sure about that.
I don't think you value the card draw that much. I think you value the not only your own HP, but
yeah, you're 16, 18 with the Aero Power.
Yeah, you just buy way too much time with this. Like, if you let the Rhino live, you don't even have an answer in your hand for the next turn. You're just gonna hide behind the Bulwark for one more turn, take the 4 damage. We're going to 14 with just the Barak on the field, so we're still at a healthy life total, even though the Barak is gone. But we do need to top deck something on the next turn in order to have a real chance of coming back here. There's just so many cards in the Hunter hand right now that this is actually kind of crazy.
Yes.
Hungry, aren't ya?
It's turn 7. How does he have 7 cards?
Yeah, this Barak is a really good card. Well balanced, I guess. I like it. Okay, so now wiRer is at 11.
Ooh.
Oh, maybe 19, maybe.
What do we even want to find?
Okay, this one.
Going for armor keeps us alive, so that just helps. Quest is on the last part, and he needs to play one more pirate to get the Rokara, but I don't even know how much Rokara helps right now. You still need a turn to develop it.
I know that his opponent may have another Rhino because of the Warsong Wrangler. Okay, back to 11.
1 damage off lethal.
This one is
so
2.
I think you just go for maximum board and try to play around Rancor. If I remember correctly, that is in the deck, right? Yeah, there's 2 Rancors available to wiRer. So do your best to play around Rancor while making it to where your quick shot hero power can just seal the game next turn. Yeah, I like this a lot.
Okay.
As a Barav off the top, that is that's a clear technically with Barav Whirling Combatant, but I mean, you're just dead to
yeah.
Felmon doesn't awaken next turn, right? Yeah, still needs 2 turns. Wait, hold on a minute. I think wiRer actually can live. He puts himself to 6 with the hero power because the Whirling Combatant Barav combo is only 7.
Mm-hmm.
So he can actually live. Yeah, because quick shot hero power isn't enough. He needs to top deck the other aim shot.
But he knows about the Rhino, and the Rhino here on Barav.
Oh, that's right. I always forget about the Rhino, and then he top decks piercing shot. Yeah.
Okay. It's set.
Well, I tried to see if there was a way out with your deck, but I'm sad that we're not going to see more of it. This is a cool deck to see in action, but I don't know. This is the hand that I don't think this was the hand that beats Hunters, so it's kind of unfortunate for wiRer.
Okay, so it's 1-0 for Fled here, and we won't see this warrior anymore, and it's a pity because I like the deck. Okay, warrior.
It's only got Quest Hunter and typical OTK Demon Hunter with Il'gynoth. And honestly, there's no real changes to the Demon Hunter list, so I'm just going to focus on this Hunter list as much as I can. And I've seen a decent amount of this deck played because there's a streamer named Hattrick that has pretty much, I think, solely climbed to top 200 legend in, I don't know, an EU or in a different server. But he plays a lot of Quest Hunter. And I may not like Hunter that much as a class, but I can watch Hattrick play this deck for a few hours.
Let us see who can withstand the fires.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
so
updating the lineup command, guys, if you want to see the decks. And don't forget the top and bottom comments as well to cheer the players.
So I'm looking at the stats right now. And Face Hunter only has a 53% win rate against Quest Hunter in top 100 legend. Sorry, in top 1000 legend. It's about the course of about 1,400 games, and like honestly, that's a better chance for the Quest Hunter than I would originally estimate. But with as much removal as you have, like look at this, yeah, like you just deal with the Initiate. Like turns like this are probably the reason why it's a lot closer than I believe. Like you just have a lot of single answers to clear minions.
Okay, interesting use of the coin here, and the Felmo on 2 another time. Okay, would it be? Oh, it's the Scorpion. Okay.
Yeah, you just definitely go with the Scorpion. You deal with the 5/4 if it randomly attacks into it. Plus, you get another resource. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why this card is in the deck is because I'm sorry, you want the breeder in the deck in order to get you more Scorpids, or you know, you find that specific beast because your deck is very spell heavy. Let me actually see how many beasts are in this deck. 1, 2. Yeah, it's just the 3 beasts: the Mana Feeder, the Viper, and the Scorpion. So you're pretty much, you know, if you draw the breeder, you can get any one of those cards, and that's just, you know, good in a flex situation.
No, it's interesting. I'm gonna try this deck on ladder, I guess.
It's a little bit complicated. Orange was playing it at the beginning of the season, and it's definitely not just like the one thing I like about this deck in standard is that it's not just all in face, and it's just not all in on control. You kind of have like the flexibility of being able to progress your game plan. Speaking of game plan, that Felmaw got the best trade, avoided the poisonous minion.
Yeah,
Fled is able to take care of it, and I think Bullet Shot actually can do a lot of damage here, but
and it had these 2 augmentations in, and he couldn't play last turn because his board was empty, and only minion, the only minion was on the opposite one, but they were very consistent.
yeah, this is actually a really good turn from the Quest Hunter too. Like literally, don't you get the 0 mana hero power this turn? Oh no, you get to target minions. But you can also complete the next step with yet another wound prey and the Bullet Shot in order to completely wipe out this board.
Yeah, really well executed by wiRer here.
And now this is where the Face Hunter starts to struggle, because you know we got a Rhino in hand but nothing to swing into it, and you may have the Crescent, but your opponent is literally known for not playing that many minions because of how many spells from their deck.
Okay, it prefers the arrow power instead of aim shot.
This is where I start to question: how does the Hunter win from here? Or how does the Face Hunter win? I mean, I have to be so specific. I say Hunter and I mean Face Hunter because I'm not used to seeing Quest Hunter. But
you may say the Hunter that looks like a Hunter, not the red one at the bottom.
Fire Hunter.
With this very strange bow.
Turns out Blizzard is releasing a new class called the Hunter Hunter, where he hunts hunters.
And the furry as well.
Yeah, so this is just where you want to complete the quest, and even being able to hit your own Scorpion, you're that fortunate right now. And who cares if it comes down?
You may not know, but in France the warlock class is démoniste. demonist, like in Demon Hunter, you know. So we in the class Demon Hunter we have Demon like demonist and Hunter like hunter. So it's not very very good for us because you don't know what you're talking about.
You really need that context there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no! The arcane shot gets the Tavish online this turn. Okay, yeah, I think it's safe to say that the face hunter, the regular hunter, needs to do something against this hunter because this quest hunter is literally becoming the hunter I was talking about earlier.
I like this.
This is gonna. How do you even come back from this?
But the quest hunter doesn't have so many.
Yeah.
so many spells left in hand, but I guess it's 1-1, and we will see this quest hunter in action.
Okay, so I imagine that. Okay, so how good is Libram Paladin against Quest Hunter? I guess I should just ask myself, how good is Quest Hunter against the meta, and then I'll have my answer. It looks like it's got a pretty even win rate against Libram, so I would not be surprised to see Garrote queued up, which is what it looks like is happening. Garrote Rogue should have a quote-unquote favorable matchup against the Quest Hunter, especially with a field contact in hand. It doesn't look like we're going to repeat what we saw last game with a contactless Garrote Rogue, which is it's a beautiful phrase that I need to hear more often. Contactless Garrote Rogue. Makes me feel happy. Ooh, but doesn't really have a good supporting hand for it. But on the other side, wiRer has 2 spells that can damage, that can deal damage. Now a third one off the top, and a resizing patch. So plenty of versatility.
Okay, so what would it be here? Okay, only a dagger.
Yeah, you don't need to commit any of the minions here. Easy turn 2 dagger. It's real. The question really is, how does wiRer win this matchup? Because essentially you need to rip cards that only deal damage to the enemy face at the early stages of the game. Because I don't think that the rogue is gonna play any cards against the hunter until you have that field contact turn.
Yeah, so it may be too late for the hunter to finish the quest and everything.
And Fled is just completely saying, yeah, I don't need to do anything. You have to do your thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll do my thing.
But for now, Wild managed to get cards that can it face. So first part of the quest completed.
Something else you can actually do is play the Wound Prey, get the minion out of it, and then play the Bola Shot. So that's 2 spells right there.
Yeah. Interesting. I like this.
Yeah, I feel like you have to go for the Swindle here.
Yeah.
Maybe you can play Braid if
you
want to deny the possibility of, you know, removal.
Then Brain Freeze, for the reason you mentioned before. Okay, and we play our own minion if needed.
Yeah, it looks like that this minion's dead. You get a 0 mana hero power now. You have 1 more spell that you need to crawl in order to get your Tavish. Like, I'm like, this deck feels like you can just complete the quest so early, even in standard. Like, this deck is a nightmare in wild, I'll tell you that much right now. But I mean, standard, even with the limited spell pool, it still seems pretty good.
Oh,
is he gonna play the Manthara? I don't think you play the resizing pouch here. Yeah, I definitely like this. Don't give the rogue anything to work with.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Secret passage number 1. Oh. Will you play this one thief here?
I think, you know, contact into Guardian Og Merchant actually somewhat works. I mean, you know your opponent has a coin, so maybe they don't have a spell in order to deal with this.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can tell that, you know, with the hero power and the Bola Shot, it can deal with this. But if you're if you're fled right now, you're probably thinking that your opponent doesn't have another spell.
No.
Plus, you already got the other field contact anyway. You just need a cycle for the deck. So even if they do have it, yeah, I like this play.
Okay, is he trading this item? Yes. Okay, Arcane Shot, I can deal phase.
Wait, so he gets to play the Tavish again on turn 6.
Oh, he's canning it. Okay, he's canning it.
Job's done.
Okay. Because the coin is a spell that you can use after the reward, after the Tavish, so you can reset your hero power with.
Yeah, I think he's trying to play around Cult Neophyte by just getting rid of it right now and making Tavish available, because if the Cult Neophyte would have been played before the spell was played, then he would not have been able to play the Tavish next turn. So I like this recognition from wiRer, where he's just like, I don't have to wait. That just makes it makes it more likely for my opponent to get that time to come back. But with Octobot in hand, this might just be oh no, that's another Octobot. Do you even need to proc it? Might be a stupid question, but I guess you just do it because it's mana efficient.
Okay. And the stealth. Okay, but here comes Tavish with Red Sizing Push.
I'm gonna use Swarm or whatever it's called. Oh, he doesn't get it. Still gets a spell though. I think you're guaranteed to get a spell, right? Because there's only 4 cards in the pool. Yeah, so you're always gonna get a spell. Swarm would have been good to try and deny like Pinflinger, Octobot synergies, but unfortunately for wiRer, he did not find that. And now this is just gonna be, one of the things that this meta is known for. Really disgusting field contact turns.
No, but would it be enough? Still 13 cards in opponent's deck. Would it be enough?
I don't know how much damage this is going to be, but at the same time, the board space is kind of worrying me. But you do have Prize Plunderer, you do have the Guardian Og Merchant. You can kill your own minions if necessary.
Yeah.
So you have Pinflingers, but oh no, dude!
Oh,
this is just the power.
See this Garrot number 2.
Is he gonna have time though? Because if he breaks on the draw, it's like he has to wait for animations.
Okay, there are 4 other cards than Bleed Smash.
Oh no, dude, he's running out of time. He's running out of time.
Okay, no bleeds, no bleeds.
So, wiRer didn't die, but we're still waiting for the rest of the turn to play out.
But you don't have the damage here on the side.
Don't have the damage, but there's 6 bleeds in deck, so that's already already 12 damage. But he's just dead here, right? Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. Fled had to go for lethal there. And I actually really like that recognition where he just like kind of understood where he had to go for it. I mean, it was his last field contact, so that, is kind of important information, knowing why he did that. But at the same time, wiRer really changing my perspective on, Quest Hunter being a legitimate deck to just, beat Quest, to be Garrote Rogue with. Like,
yeah, but
it may not have been the nuts of the Rogue, but it was the nuts from the Hunter.
As you saw, the Fled didn't get his bleeds. There were 12 cards left, and he drew 4, and he didn't take any bleed. I guess that the only cards left were bleeds.
Let us see who can withstand the
That was extremely unlucky then.
Yeah, I guess. But it's okay for me. If wiRer wins, because of is being part of the max team.
Okay, so one of the difficult things to point out Fled right now is that even if he does win this matchup, he has to still get over the Demon Hunter matchup, which it's not necessarily that Paladin has like the best time dealing with it. In fact, according to HS Replay, it looks like Libram Paladin has a very substantial win rate against it, like almost like a 65%. Jeez, that's like really good. I didn't realize it was that good. So like this is one of those things to where he really needs to get over the hump, because Fled will be very, very favored going into the next matchup. But Quest Hunter, again, a deck that a lot of people are not experienced with countering, and just looking ahead to the stats, trying to see how good Quest Hunter is against Libram.
I guess in the Max Land 3 in LHS format, as we mentioned before, it was a Pocket Train who had a Quest Hunter, and he managed to get through to the final with it, and is the runner-up on the tournament.
Actually, might be the reason, because did wiRer have Quest Hunter when he did the tournament?
Not sure about that. I'm gonna check it.
Yeah, because it'd be interesting if he changed his lineup to play the Quest Hunter after seeing how well it does. But as of right now, like, Fled is just kind of doing what he has to tempo both brooms. Oh my god, this is kind of sad to see a little bit. And oh no, looks like
we have a disconnection, but it's okay because I'm checking for the wiRer's lineup right now. View manage decks. And so it's Hunter. Yeah, it's Quest Hunter as well, the same one.
Okay, so he did bring Quest Hunter in his first line. He just knows how good this deck was, and
they're the same one. And it's the Max Land 3 lineup with the same warrior and so on.
Okay, so just go for a comfort pick then.
Yeah.
Still though, Fled does have something to commit onto the board. wiRer does have a response to it, but is kind of running out of resources a little bit. The Manthara does help a lot, but this deck just finds ways of being able to generate a bunch of damage all at once, like that Overwhelm for example. I didn't even consider the fact that there are 3 beasts on the field, so it now does 5 damage. Dealing with the developed pupil perfectly.
Okay, so the army on Panthera.
Yeah, 3 Pantharas by turn 5. That's pretty good. Oh my god, dude! This you could not handpick these draws to be any worse.
Yeah.
Librams with no discount. Varian as well, all before turn 6.
Okay, well, and while he's just displaying,
now he has Slade.
He's displaying a note on this camera that says "Paladin sucks."
Literally hasn't done anything. See, kind of like what I said at the beginning of the of this set, is that Paladin, it gets results sometimes, especially like at the most recent Masters Tour. But as we're seeing right now, City Tax off the top, another terrible card. But luckily, we have finally gotten to the point where 2 terrible cards actually work in order to give us some kind of chance. But I mean, we still need a turn for our Libram of Hope. We have Varian coming out next turn, so
okay.
Finally, Fled has a chance.
Good Barak here.
Man, I almost want to take back that statement now.
Ooh. So it cannot play this Libram of Hope here.
No, you do have a Varian with Divine Field Rush.
Is Aldo Attendant trolling now? Here at turn 8.
Paladin doesn't suck. It finally got some value.
So can you deal the 10 here? It's 3, 7. Yeah,
now that you can deal damage with your hero power, you can. It's 6 if actually no. So what you could do is you could play the quest reward, hero power, play the oh wait, he's just going for lethal.
Lethal.
Oh, he's just going for lethal. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I was thinking of going for the Tavish, killing the minion, and then trying to set up lethal next turn. But I mean, when you just got it, you just got it. I didn't even think about tracking into, into ridiculous hero power. Oh my god. This is one reason why I sometimes hate this deck. 6 damage off 1 hero power. Oh my god.
Okay, so we're done here. So I'm telling thank you for the games to Fled. Fled won't be here for the interview because he has things to do right now, and we have wiRer. Where is he? Where is wiRer? Here. Okay. Okay, for a little interview. Okay, I'm adding him in the conversation right now. Right now. Okay, it's here. wiRer. Okay, incoming. Incoming call from wiRer. Hi wiRer, how are you?
Hello, good evening.
Greetings.
Guys, I'm good.
GG for the games. And you managed to have a better score than Furyhunter. I guess it was the aim tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what is that reverse sweep nonsense? It's just a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, it's only for the show. It's a show off guy. So GG for this win versus the Grandmaster Fled. Did you feel confident with this lineup we just checked, and it's the same one that in the Maxland 3?
Yeah, I mean, since I got in last minute last week, I didn't really have time to submit a lineup, so I just told you to submit whatever Furyhunter submitted, and I lost, so clearly the lineup's fault, so I just went back to my lineup and worked out right.
Yeah. You better take your own one because Furyhunter is okay. So it's 3-1 now, and you're back in the game on this group, the group C, I guess. Yeah. And what do you think about the field of the group C? I gonna remind you. You have Fled, Remy 94, Raze, another Brazilian player, Wama, a former Grandmaster, French Grandmaster, Status V13, a Greek player that will fight Orange tomorrow on the Max TV, so Orange as well, and Nalgidan, another South American player, is Argentinian. I don't know how do you say that in English. The guy from Argentina, Clark.
Lionel Messi.
I unfortunately don't know how to pronounce it either.
No problem.
Just NA. It's NA.
The guy.
Yeah, I mean, those are all known players, so I expect them to be good. Like, I haven't played against all of them, but we've all heard of them. Yeah, I mean, it's good that you tell me who's in the group, because with the Masters Tour preparation, I didn't even have time to get to look at who's in the group, because I got in last minute.
I'm here for that. And GG as well for the good run in the Master 2.
We won. Yes.
Yeah. We won, but you personally hit the 21st place, which is a very nice accomplishment as well.
That's a personal best. I mean, I didn't expect it to be that good in the end, because I lost first round, and when you lose first round, you're already pretty hopeless. I mean, I still went 6-2, and luckily for me, the guy I lost first round, he finished third in Swiss and made it to top 8. So my tiebreaker was pretty good after that. So that's why I still finished that high up in the Swiss despite losing in the first round.
Yeah, congrats to you on your recent Masters Tour success, as well as winning this particular series. One thing I actually wanted to ask you about your lineup was when I was looking at the statistics, it looks like it was really good going into Garrote Rogue. So was that actually your main target, or what exactly was the idea of your lineup bringing such unconventional decks?
I mean, for the Masters Tour or this.
I guess that question could actually be applied to both. But yeah, you can go ahead and give us both takes if you'd like.
Because it's like in LHS, you're not really trying to target one deck. You're trying to have an answer for everything. That's where the Quest Hunter comes in. I kind of like Quest Hunter because it's the one deck that can beat aggro deck while being a good anti-control deck. Which funnily is not a really good choice in Conquest, but it's I think it's a really good performer in LHS. So yeah, just trying to have a balanced lineup that has an answer to every popular meta deck. And obviously I'm not banning Rogue because I have the Control Warrior and the Lifesteal Demon Hunter, which are both very good into the Rogue. So if they ban one of those two, I still have like the other one to answer it. And yeah, I mean, for the Masters Tour, we just tried to be good against Garrote Rogue, like soft targeting it, because I figured that if we leave Rogue up, we make our opponents play the decks. Not everybody can play it at a good level. So, I mean, if you ban that, they don't have to prove themselves. And yeah, that's why we were searching for decks that beat it, and finally we came up with this lineup, which worked pretty well, and it had a nice side effect that also being a soft target on Face Hunter, which also was pretty popular across the board. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you really did your homework, man, and it really does show with your guys' performance. So again, one more congratulations to not only your success, but Max Esports' performance as well. And yeah, I was just really astounded watching you guys perform this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, wiRer, and good luck for the rest of this Max League 5 with this round 3 incoming next week. You'll know your opponent on Sunday as usual, and
hopefully with the mini set very soon, cause I can't wait for a new meta game.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
we have no information about that, but I guess
I mean it should have been out like 4 weeks ago already. I mean that's
People
at least what it feels like.
Might come out on the 2nd of November. Like there's a lot of people on Twitter that are taking bets on when it'll actually come out, but that's the day that I'm looking out for at the moment.
That looks like a pretty good date. At least it's either that one or maybe a week later, but at least before the next Masters Tour, which
I
is
guess
already coming up. Like it's not that long anymore until the next Masters Tour, actually.
Yeah.
I guess it will be before the next Masters Tour as well. And we really it was very funny to see your little note for us about Paladin.
I just have zero respect for the deck. It's just such a bad deck. I mean, yeah, sometimes it high rolls and when you draw your perfect Libram curve, but if it whiffs, then it's so terrible. It just can't beat anything. So yeah, I was pretty happy at just playing minions on curve with my Quest Hunter. Like the deck is not really supposed to do that. Just playing Zoo.
yeah, like your 3 Pantheras. Yeah, very nice combo with the Panthera and the card, the 2-drops that copy base from your deck. I like it because you run out of draw of cards in this Quest Hunter sometimes. So I like this combination.
Yeah, this deck is not running out of cards that often, also with the resizing pouches that don't make it in every list. I like not running out of cards.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Okay, thank you, and see you next week, wiRer.
Yeah. See you guys. Have a nice evening, or Clark, maybe afternoon. I don't know what time.
Yeah, it's afternoon for me.
So, yeah. See you guys. Bye.
See you. Okay, here we are. So, okay, it was a really interesting series. What do you think about the last one, Clark?
I think that you know, something that I always enjoy about Hearthstone, especially about like the different formats that are available, is that we get to highlight some of these decks that don't necessarily get to, you know, decide what the meta is and what people are going to bring and stuff like that. Because, you know, why bring these other decks when, you know, the top four is just the top four? But today we really got to see a lot of, you know, specific plans get put into action. And I'm just happy that, you know, Garrote Rogue was actually something that lost the most today. So that's just always, you know, always a good stomach tickler there. But regardless, I think that, you know, the best thing about Hearthstone is all of the decks that are possible, all of these, you know, archetypes that people immediately dismiss, and being able to see them win always makes me happy.
Yeah, so that's why we like to make our events in LHS format, to have something different, to propose something different to the viewers, to the players. And I guess all our events from 2 years now are in LHS format because of it. So you can see other decks.
It's just a very fresh take on a very stale meta that we've all come to expect now. So it's just really nice to see something different, especially while we're waiting for this mini set to come out. So, you know, Blizzard, let's get that out.
Okay, so just a word about the rest of the week. So tomorrow we have another stream at 9 p.m. UTC +2. It will be Gabby. I don't know if you know Gabby. Gabby versus Pocket Train, and Orange versus Status V13. So 2 great matches casted by Cool Kid in French. And then on Wednesday, I'll replace Atomic, so I'll be casting with Jambra in English as well, and it will be 2 Ukrainian players, Insane and Silvos, that will play respectively versus Rose Louis, a Spanish player, and Kailes Luna, Canadian Grandmaster. Okay, so what do you think about those incoming matches? Do you know these players? Maybe the Insane from Ukraine?
Yeah, I recognize Insane and Kales Luna for sure. Insane is actually a player that I've encountered on ladder a decent amount of times, trying to go for my finish. So he's definitely a very solid player. Gets a lot of practice in, as you can tell. And then Kales Luna obviously does a lot of streaming. Was in Grandmasters last season. I don't know if he's still a part of that.
I guess he's been relegated.
Okay, so that's 100% confirmed. Okay, so that's kind of sad. But regardless, Kales Luna is a very, very solid player. If you don't know that he streams, I would definitely check it out. It's a very, very good resource to get inside the the mindset of a good player. Always something that I enjoy about Twitch, regardless. But yeah, I think that those are going to be some pretty good matchups. I unfortunately don't know their opponents, so I can't speak 100%. But regardless, we got a lot of good players. If you're playing on this stream, you're probably a good player.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the first match of tomorrow will be Gabby, so the guy who won the Grandmaster this season of the Grandmaster, versus Pocket Train. Pocket Train who managed to reach top 16, maybe top 8 in the previous Master Tour this weekend. And
I know Pocket Train too. I forgot about that. Pocket Train and Gabby is definitely going to be a match you don't want to miss.
Yeah, and it was already top 2, also top 2 in the Maxland 3. So we will see good matches. Thank you so much, Clark, for having been here with me to cast those matches tonight. Tonight on French time. Sorry.
I was just saying it's always a pleasure. I always have a lot of fun just talking about Hearthstone, and something I always like to passion myself about is being able to like try to focus on the game. And I feel like we had a lot of a lot of fun while being able to focus on the game. And yeah, I always will. I will always take these casting opportunities. So, you know, feel free to let me know.
Okay, thanks. I let you know. Thank you guys for having been here with us, and see you tomorrow with the Cool Kid, and on Wednesday with me for new cast for this Max League 5. See you.
A good one.